Hey everybody, in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what you need to do and how you can trade or actively manage your portfolio and work a full-time job. The next piece, we want to see lower high. So the highs are getting lower and the lows are getting higher and the highs are getting lower. So what's happening? Price is compressing here. Okay. It's compressing. That's what we're looking for. You can see here's a high, $42, and then here's a high, $36. Okay. So it's getting lower. At the same time, the lows are getting higher. Price is compressing. These lower highs give you a trend line. They give you a diagonal trend line. That's piece number 5. So price support. So we have 200-day moving average, price support, higher lows, lower highs, and then a diagonal. When all 5 of those criteria are met, we have a setup. Okay. We have a setup and we can mark our entry criteria. For this trade, the entry criteria here was this top line, call it 29.4, I think is the level. Okay. And that would have been a higher high. Okay. So price is now moving higher. That is, instead of price making lower highs, price is now making higher highs and higher lows. That's an upward trend. Higher lows plus higher highs. So if you think about a step, what is a step? A staircase. It's a higher high and a higher low. A higher high and a higher low. Right? 2 steps forward, 1 step. 2 steps forward, 1 step. How does this work in practice? On the entry criteria here, I'd place an alert. Okay. And that's where I would take my entries. Okay. So before the market opens or after the market closes, I've gone through and I've looked and found that it is safe to trade. I've got my list of candidates I want to trade. Now I use my system and say, okay, when it meets these criteria, I take a trade. So what does that look like? 1, I set an alert at that level. Okay. So make sure it goes to my phone, to a text message, an email. So that way I know at the end of the day, without pulling up my brokerage and scrolling through a whole bunch of charts, XNDU crossed my level today. If you're ready to see the full detailed breakdown of this videos and gain access to the same system that allowed me to retire at 35 while working a full-time job as a management consultant, then you need to be in the construct. Inside the construct, you'll get access to over 100 hours of educational content, daily live streams, and my personal trading framework. Click the link in the video below to start your free trial in the construct today. Then in my brokerage, okay, however you're trading or managing your money, you set an order, a limit to buy. Okay, make sure you understand how this works. You only want to buy if price crosses above this level. And then you make it good till close or good till cancel. Okay. Well, again, depending on your broker, this works very different, but I know it's available at most brokerages. All right. And then at the end of the day, you got the alert that trade was entered. Okay. This is how you automate trading. Okay. Now, if you get the alert during the day and you have time, pull up your phone and you can go ahead and put in your stop loss. Okay. But in general, for most people, I think they're doing this before the market opens. You set your orders in, and then at the end of the day, find a few minutes, go in and put your stop loss in. Okay. Or if you can't, if you only have time at the beginning of the market, okay, you look and see, all right, I entered a trade. Cool. I entered a trade today. And then at some point when you have time later in the day, you go in and you put in your stop loss order. Okay. And your stop loss should also be based on these rules. In this case, the stop loss was the next level down here, 26.18. Okay. So if I was doing this with a full-time job, okay, and I saw this here on Wednesday, 29 April, I would know, okay, now if price tomorrow crosses above the high of day today, that was the entry trigger, I want to buy this stock. So I set my order at today's high price or yesterday's high price. And I set an alert there. Okay. And then during the day, it gets filled. I know either during the day or after hours when you have time again, you pull up your chart, you pull up your brokerage, and you set your stop loss down here. Okay. And if you took the entry during the day and then at the end of the day, you open your phone, you open your brokerage and it's down below your stop, then you close the trade. You lost money. Okay. But that's part of trading. Sometimes that is going to happen. Okay. So that's step 3. Once you have your system, you put your orders in either before the market opens or after the market closes, or if you have time during the trading day, put your orders in during the trading day and make them good till cancel, good till closed. Okay. Buy when price hits this level. All right. So then the last piece is now you're in the trade. Step 4 is how do you manage the trades? So really quickly, before we get into trade management, if this kind of content is something you like, if this is something you need help with, you want to be around other people who are doing this, who are working full-time jobs, you want to learn more about this system, I'll put a link in the description below. I have a private trading community. It's called The Construct. It's built specifically for working professionals. Everything about the room, everything about the community is set up for people who are working full-time jobs. I have plumbers in the group. I have electricians. I have linemen. I have people who are software engineers, people who are working in factories. Okay. I have management consultants, like what I used to do. Okay. People working different jobs on different schedules, learning how to trade and actively manage their portfolio to achieve some kind of financial independence on their schedule. Okay. If that's something you're interested in, check the link in the description below, get a free trial for the room, see if it's worth it, see if it's worth your time. Okay. We'd love to see you there. All right. So the last piece, trade management. Okay. This should take about 5 minutes. Okay. So the first part, is it safe to trade? Call it 5 minutes. Your screener, honestly, that's where the most of your time is going to be, going through and looking at names. Okay. 10, 15 minutes there. Okay. Putting in your orders for when you want to enter the trades, making sure you have the actionable setups, 5 to 10 minutes, and then trade management. That's about 5 minutes here. So once you're in a trade, so you started out the day, you put in your orders for things that you maybe want to buy, putting in your stops for things that you're in and you want to sell. Okay. The last piece is the management side, putting in those stop loss orders, but also putting in the profit taking orders. So if we're looking at XNDU here and I entered on last Thursday, I would also set a profit taking order right here and a profit taking order up here. Okay. So call that, what is that? 35 and then call it $42. Close enough. Okay. And so I would say I want to sell a third of the position if it gets here and another third of the position if it gets here. And I leave those orders open until they get filled. Okay. Now, if you have the ability to make these bracket orders, so it's one cancels the other, you can say either close when price gets here or close when price gets down here, whichever happens first, and one order will cancel the other. So if you can do that in your brokerage, you know how to set up a bracket order, do that. And essentially you would just have multiple bracket orders for each profit target. Okay. But if you use specifically the system that I teach, you only need profit taking orders because we do stop loss orders a very specific way. Okay. And this way, during the day, while you're working and making the money, doing what you need to do, working, living your life, doing your job. Okay. If price runs, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about constantly checking the chart and seeing, oh, should I take profit here? Should I take profit here? Plan your exits out ahead of time. Go by the chart, go by like a standard. Hey, if it moves 15%, I know I want to take profits. You can set your order so that if it moves 15%, you take profit. Okay. But plan your exits ahead of time, profit taking and stop losses. That way, while you're working, the system runs, the orders execute. All you have to do at the end of the day is just pull up your phone, check your email and see, okay, did anything happen? Do I need to take any action? Most of the time, no. Most of the time, you don't need to take any action because all of your orders are programmed ahead of time. Okay. And the system runs itself. You don't have to stress about it. You don't have to worry about it. Okay. And to be honest, people think that this is a disadvantage. Tell you for sure, this can be an advantage because you're not constantly watching the market, constantly feeling like I need to be doing something. I need to be productive. I need to be in a trade. I need to be out of a trade. I need to be taking profits. Okay. Build your system out, put your orders in, let the system do its thing. And then after you get some data and run this for a few months or a couple of years, is your system actually working? If it is, then you don't need to do anything. After a couple of months, if it's not working, okay, what do you need to change about your system? You have real feedback. You have real input into what you're doing and if it's working or if it's not. Whereas most retail traders, I'll tell you, they have no clue if what they're doing works. They have no idea. Okay. And this is why most retail traders lose money because they have no idea what they're doing. And yeah, they should just probably buy an index fund. Okay. If you're going to actively manage stuff and you're going to do it yourself, you need to have a system so you know if what you're doing is working or not. Okay. And I'm telling you, that system can fit in perfectly with working a full-time job. It worked for me as a management consultant, flying twice a week, flying out on Sunday night, flying in Friday morning, working 60 hours a week or more. Honestly, in most cases, it was more. Okay. On client sites, it worked then, it'll work now. Okay. And this is exactly what it takes. So quick recap, What are the 4 parts and how much time does it take? So the first thing, you need to know, when is it safe to trade? Okay, this should take you about 5 minutes. You go through the criteria I listed, okay, and they'll tell you exactly how to adjust things. Okay, look at QQQ. Is price above the 20-day moving average? Is it going up? And is price above the 200-day moving average? Okay, step number 2, you need to know what to trade. Find a way to screen or filter out all of the noise. Use the filter I gave you. Use the screener I gave you. Come up with one. Okay, there are others you can use. Follow my channel, and there's videos on other screeners that can use that can be helpful. Okay, that's probably the majority of your time. Okay, 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, depending on how new you are to this. So we're up to 20 minutes. Okay, maximum 20 minutes. The next piece, step 3, you need to take your screener names and you need to look for actionable setups. Okay, and then with those actionable setups, you put in your entries. Where do I want to take action on these setups? Okay, program in your orders, make them good till cancel. Okay, 5 to 10 minutes here. Okay, honestly, about 5 minutes. It doesn't take that long. So we're up to 25 minutes. And then the last piece, trade management. Okay, trade management. Once you're in the trade, basically the same step as step 3, then you put in your orders to take profits and get stopped out. Okay, and from day to day, if you hit one profit target, then you should move your stop up and you now have the next profit target available. Again, this is about 5 minutes. You only take action if there's action needed. Okay, so total, this can be done 30 minutes a day. It doesn't matter if it's before the market opens or after the market closes. Okay, it's whatever fits your schedule. The one caveat to this, I will say, some brokers only let you put in orders if the market's open. Okay, so for some brokers, the last 2 steps, the automation piece, you may have to wait for the market to open or be around at least by the market close to put your orders in. As of 2026, I think a lot of that's going away, but I do want to put that out there, depending on what you're using. If you're doing this in a 401k and maybe your employer doesn't have the best service provider, I'm not going to mention any that are terrible, Merrill Lynch, but some of them are still operating like the 1970s. And so if that's the case, you may have to tweak your rules to fit your brokerage. So make sure you're familiar with how things work. Worst case scenario, just call and understand, look up some videos on how exactly to work with your brokerage. Okay. So that's everything it takes to work on a full-time job that's everything it takes to work a full-time job and trade or actively manage your portfolio. It can be done in 30 minutes a day. Okay. So if you guys find this helpful, this is the kind of stuff you're interested in, you want to get more of this, obviously follow the channel. You're going to see more stuff like this, and check out my trading community, The Construct. We'd love to have you there. It's, again, explicitly set up for working professionals who need help figuring out how to actively trade and manage their portfolio, so you don't have to work until you're 65 or 70, or work until AI takes your job and then you have no job. So maybe stay tuned for a video about what to do if and when AI takes your job and how trading could save. See you guys next time. Hey guys, look, this clip is just a glimpse of the kind of research and education and training content we do in The Construct every single day. To see the full version of this training and unlock over 100 hours of trading and investing educational content, join us inside The Construct. I'll show you exactly how I leveraged these tools and techniques and my strategy I used to retire at 35 while working a full-time 9-to-5 job, working over 60 hours. From daily live streams to proprietary research, it's all waiting there for you, including a supportive community of like-minded traders and investors just like yourself. Use the link in this video to start your free trial in The Construct today.